Okay, so it's no secret that Benny Greb is one of my absolute favorite drummers, and it's not just for his playing. I've always really loved his drum tones as well, and specifically his floor tom sound. It seems like a lot of the time Benny's using this super deep, meaty, just really low-tuned floor tom that just sounds amazing. And today I wanted to try and replicate that using a few tips that I've sort of gathered from various Benny videos online. Specifically, the sound I'm going to be going for is from the video where Benny announces the 22-inch sand ride. But that video in particular, I just always keep coming back to, not for the ride that he's supposed to be demoing, but because of the floor tom. So we're going to try doing this with my DW Jazz series, which even happens to be in white marine pearl, just like Benny's kit. And we're going to do this with my 16-inch floor tom to start with, which it looks like is what Benny's using. And then we'll also try it with the 14, just to show that I think you can do this with any floor tom. So the first thing, of course, that we need to talk about is how tight or how loose do we actually want the heads. And spoiler alert, we're going to want them pretty darn loose. Usually I'll take my bottom head, even on floor toms, and have it be kind of medium high, and then tune the top head up or down depending on what sound and feel I'm going for. But in this case, because the bottom head controls so much tone and because we're looking for such a deep sound, we're going to bring that bottom head pretty far down. We're going to bring it just above wrinkles. And then we're going to do the same thing with the top head. I heard that Benny said at a clinic once that hitting a floor tom should feel like hitting a dead pig, which is amazing for so many reasons, one of which is just how vivid that imagery is, but also because it is actually fairly descriptive. And what I'm getting out of that is that the top head should be very, very loose. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and not have any visible wrinkles. If you have to have wrinkles, that may be the only way you can do it, but we're going to try and not have any visible wrinkles, but have both heads be just barely under tension. So one problem you may run into when tuning this low is the sustained growl sound. So getting that growl. We don't really want that. A little bit of it might actually be okay, but for the most part, we don't want that interfering with our tone. So you're gonna have to be really, really careful to make sure that the tension and the tuning, even though it's very, very low, is in fact even on all of the bottom tension rods and then all of the top tension rods. The two heads don't have to be the same pitch, but they definitely need to be in tune with themselves, and you have to be pretty precise on that. It might just be tiny little drum key movements that make the difference. So another tip that Benny has famously given out is his floor tom cotton ball trick, which is where he puts cotton balls in the floor tom so that when you hit the drum, the cotton balls fly up off the bottom head and then come down and kind of naturally gate just the bottom head, which is a great trick. I've tried it before and totally works, but I'm lazy today and I'm not going to be doing that. And I just want to show you that you don't necessarily have to stuff cotton balls into the drum to do this. We're just going to translate that into bottom head dampening. So I'm just going to throw some gaff tape on the bottom head and call it good to go. The last thing I feel like I should mention about this trick is that it is going to leave your floor tom sounding and feeling very dead. And this is something that you just have to be prepared for. It's not going to be very resonant. And part of what makes it work so well, I think, in the video that I referenced is that they are in a very live sounding room, so that brings some of the life back to the drum. And then also, more importantly, it's close mic'd. I think this technique works really, really well when you are close micing a drum. So what you're going to be hearing is me fully utilizing room mics and a close mic on the drum. And I might give you a little bit of back and forth to let you hear what each one sounds like, but bear in mind that this technique shines under microphones and might sound a little bit weird in person. All right, so after all of that, here's how our 16 sounds. Okay, so now I'm gonna do this on my 14 just to show that I think you can kind of do this on any floor tom. Okay, so that's my attempt at the Benny Greb floor tom sound. Just to give you a quick recap, you're going to take those top and bottom heads and bring them down as far as possible. Be very careful about the tuning, otherwise you might get a nasty growl. Dampen the bottom head, and then be prepared for it to sound dead unless you are using mics. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any tips or if you have any ways to do this better, if you've gotten any tips from Benny, I would love to know. So let me know what you think in the comments. You can subscribe if you want. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.